Imagine the exact moment the chemical hits your bloodstream. The sharp edges of a brutal, exhausting day begin to soften. The relentless voice of the inner critic, the one that has been screaming at you since you woke up, suddenly goes quiet. You look out the window, and the trees seem to breathe with a vibrant, hidden life. You feel a profound, sweeping sense of unity, a deep peace that whispers into your bones that everything is going to be perfectly all right. For a few fleeting hours, you are enlightened. You have touched the absolute. And then, the morning comes. The chemical inevitably leaves your system. The heavy, unyielding gravity of everyday reality returns, and with it, the quiet, devastating realization that you have to go back to work, back to your strained relationships, and back to your unhealed trauma. You did not escape the prison. You only rented a window to look outside for a few hours. This is the grand illusion of the modern spiritual path. We are constantly sold the idea that substances, whether it is a casual glass of wine to unwind from the corporate machine, the daily ritual of marijuana to find a baseline of peace, or even intense, mind-altering plant medicines, are valid tools for our spiritual awakening. We view them as necessary medicine for a chaotic world. But what if the ancient masters, the esoteric alchemists, and the high-level cosmic frameworks all point to a radically different truth? What if that chemical is not a shortcut up the mountain, but a massive, glittering detour that is actively delaying your true internal sovereignty? To understand why this happens, we have to look at the mechanical architecture of the human body. The great sage Paramahansa Yogananda warned his students extensively about the violent forcing of consciousness. He taught that the human nervous system is an incredibly delicate, high-voltage electrical grid. Through disciplined inner work, active inquiry, and meditation, you slowly and methodically upgrade the wiring of your brain and spine so they can handle the immense, permanent voltage of divine awareness. When you introduce a mind-altering chemical into this system, you are not upgrading the wires. You are simply bypassing the fuse box. You force high-voltage cosmic electricity through a low-voltage, unprepared nervous system. You get the blinding flash of light, the profound vision, and the ecstatic feeling of universal love, but you burn out the subtle energy channels in the process. This is exactly why the ancients speak so precisely of separating the subtle from the gross with great capacity, patience, and care. True alchemy is a deliberate, conscious refinement of your base nature. It is not a violent, temporary chemical explosion. The universe, at its core, is fundamentally neutral. The chemical, the marijuana, the alcohol, the substance, does not actually contain a single drop of joy, peace, or enlightenment. There is a fascinating concept found in modern metaphysical philosophy regarding how our reality actually operates. It is the concept of the permission slip. Those states only exist inside of you. They are your natural blueprint. When you consume the substance, it acts as a psychological permission slip. It gives your rigid, defensive ego permission to relax. It allows you to momentarily drop your resistance to your own natural state of being. But here is the brutal plot twist that traps millions of seekers. Because you believe the substance gave you the experience, you give your total power away to a plant, a pill, or a bottle. You convince yourself that you are a broken machine that requires an external chemical to function or to feel the divine. You forget that you are the sovereign architect of your own consciousness. You become like a wealthy king sitting on a golden throne who drinks a potion every night just so he can dream about being a king, completely forgetting he already owns the kingdom. If we look at the universe through the lens of profound cosmic frameworks, like those detailed in the Law of One material, the trap of altered states becomes even more apparent. The universe operates as a perfectly calibrated training simulator. It intentionally provides you with catalysts. Boredom, anxiety, grief, frustration, and the agonizing friction of daily life are not punishments or accidents. They are perfectly tailored weights placed on the barbell of your soul, designed to force you to choose an orientation, to learn, and to polarize your consciousness toward the light. When you feel the intense friction of a difficult day and immediately reach for a drink or a drug to numb it, you are flatly rejecting the cosmic catalyst. You are effectively screaming at the universe to pause the simulation. You bypass the exact lesson required for your evolution. You get the immediate relief, but you completely forfeit the spiritual growth. You hit the pause button on your own awakening, ensuring that the universe will have to serve you that exact same painful lesson tomorrow, and the next day, and the next, until you finally face it completely sober. So how do we actually break this mechanical cycle? How do we build genuine, unshakable sovereignty that doesn't evaporate the moment a substance wears off? We must move past theory and apply the rigorous mechanics of direct, practical inquiry right in the very center of the craving. The next time the urge hits, the exact microsecond you reach for the glass to numb the stress or the vape to silence your anxiety, do not fight the urge. Fighting it with sheer willpower is just another mechanical reaction of the ego, and eventually, willpower runs out. Instead, you introduce a deliberate physical shock to your system. Stop your body completely. Do not move. Drop your awareness out of your rationalizing mind, which is currently making up excuses about why you deserve a drink, and drive your attention straight into the physical sensation of the craving itself. Feel the heavy tension in your chest. Notice the hot, pulling sensation in your throat or the hollow fluttering in your stomach. Strip away the mental label of craving or anxiety. Do not call it by any name. Observe it purely as biological data, as raw heat vibrating in the laboratory of your body. You step out of the identity of the addict or the stressed worker, and you become the silent witness. And then apply the ultimate architectural lever. While the craving burns hot in your chest, ask yourself a precise mechanical question. To whom is this intense desire happening? The mind will scream, "To me, I need this to relax. I can't handle this pressure." Do not argue with the mind. Simply pivot the flashlight of your attention inward and ask, "Who am I? Where exactly is this entity that cannot survive this present moment without a chemical?" When you look deeply, directly into the core of your own awareness, a terrifying and liberating discovery occurs. You will find the physical tension. You will find the floating thoughts. But the fragile self, the victim that supposedly needs to be medicated and saved from the present moment, is entirely absent. It cannot be found. It is a ghost in the machine that only has power when you run away from it. By confronting the void without a chemical buffer, you finally begin the real work of a sovereign architect. You stop running from the fire of daily life and you start using it as your alchemical crucible. You realize that a peace dependent on a substance is just a fragile environmental simulation, a house of cards waiting for the wind to blow. True, lasting sovereignty is the ability to stand entirely naked in the center of the storm, feeling the absolute weight of reality, and realizing that you do not need to be altered, numbed, or changed. You are not a machine seeking an escape hatch. You are the vast, unshakable sky in which the storm naturally appears, plays out, and dissolves, and no chemical in the world can replicate the devastating, beautiful power of a mind that has finally realized it is already free.